Hello and welcome again to Chris's Caribbean Delights. And today's episode is going to be about shrimp, pepper shrimp. We're going to be making a nice Caribbean pepper shrimp. You know, it's popular. It's a very popular shrimp in Jamaica and other islands around the Caribbean. But I'm going to be making a wonderful pepper shrimp, and I'll give you the step-by-step instructions, and we'll have a wonderful flavor. We'll be putting some habanero, give it some heat. We're going to give it some color. We're going to give it some flavor, and we're going to knock it out of the park. So let's go to those ingredients and let's get started with some pepper shrimp. So here are the ingredients that I'm going to be using for my pepper shrimp. I have some garlic, about three cloves of garlic that I minced. I have some shadow benny or some celery. I have here some chopped scallion, and I also have here some thyme. I have some butter, about 4 tablespoons of butter, and this is the hot guys. I have a habanero in there which I took the seeds out of. I have another chili here, and I have a green habanero also. The red habanero, I took the seeds out of that one, so it's not going to be that overwhelming. And also now I have half of an onion that I diced. In here I have a little bit of Cajun seasoning along with some onion and garlic powder. Here I have 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika. And here I have a tablespoon of chili oil. Chili oil carries a heat also. So it's gonna, because it's pepper shrimp, and we want that heat to continue to be throughout the finished product, the dish. It should be throughout the dish, and that flavor should be throughout the dish. And the star of the show, which is the shrimp, and we're using head-on shrimp. You can use shrimps without the head. You can take the head off. But the traditional way is to use the head-on shrimps with the head on, because all that flavor gets into the head. Some people eat the head, but I don't. But you can just suck the flavor out of it, that sauce, that gravy that's going to be formed and get into the shrimp. Obviously, so that's a nice delicacy to have the head on. So I leave the head on, but I still devein it, because you still need to get that little black vein out of the back, if there is one. So I use the scissors and I cut a slit down the back, just to check to make sure that vein is there or it's not. So if it's there, I would just remove it. You know, okay. So I take a scissors and I just cut a slit down the back and open that shell. Then you see the vein. The vein is right there. So you just grab it and you pull it out, right? And discard. Okay. If there's a little more, you just go further down and take it out. And you can rinse them. You rinse them after that, just to make sure that it's all out. So I just did those two so that you can see. I did the rest of them already, and here's another one that I can do. Just get the scissors under the shell and give it a slit. Open the shell and you'll see the dark vein right there, and you just grab that and pull it out, and you give it a rinse just to get, if there's any left in there, you just get that out. So now that you've rinsed and your shrimp is nice and clean, you know, we'll start the seasoning process. First, I'll put my chili oil. I'll sprinkle my chili oil in there because I want the chili oil to get under the, you know, to get into the shrimp and on the shell, and it's also going to help the seasoning to stick to it. So you can use, if you don't want to have chili oil, you can use any oil, any cooking oil to do that. So now I have this little Cajun seasoning, about a teaspoon, and garlic and onion powder. I'm going to just sprinkle that on there. Okay. We're going to go with the paprika. Sprinkle that on there. Then we're going to go in with our other seasonings. I'm going to go in with some of the onion, some of the parsley, or the cilantro, sorry. Going with all of the spring onion, or the scallion, and some of the hot pepper. So we're going to get this all tossed together here. I'm using gloves because you know that hot pepper, yeah, you don't want to get it all over your hand and stuff. So good. We're going to let this rest for about 30 minutes, you know, and let it all marinate. So now it's all mixed in. Let that rest, let that soak for about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll be back. Then we'll be putting our sauce together, where we'll add the rest of those ingredients. Let me put some garlic on here. Yeah, get some garlic in here. Mix that in. Yeah. Okay. So that's nice and mixed in. Then we're gonna come back, get our butter together, and get our sauce going. So I'll be back. So, and in order to get that nice brilliant red color, I'll use some red food coloring, some super red food coloring, and then we'll get some water, just about a cup of water, just to mellow everything down and get it cooking. So I'll be back. Welcome back, guys. Now I'm going to start building my sauce for my pepper shrimp. So we're going to start with some butter. We're going to put some butter in there and let the pan start to heat up, and get the butter in there, get it melted, and then we're going to add the other ingredients and let them all just saute. I just want the pan to get hot enough that I can put my thyme sprigs in there. I like to put my thyme sprigs whole and let the butter and the heat and just pop the leaves off and just get that flavor infused in the oil and the butter. So once our pan is heated, we're going to get our sprigs in there with the butter and the oil, and we're going to let it start going. So I'm going to put like a tablespoon of olive oil along with the butter, and we're going to let that go. Okay. Now I'm going to start adding my onions, the garlic, and add these hot peppers in here. Sprigs of thyme. These sprigs of thyme, so that they can infuse obviously you need something to stir. Add some flavor. I have some bouillon powder, some bouillon seasoning, and some complete seasoning. Bouillon and complete seasoning. I'm gonna let this go. And just let this onion caramelize for a little bit, and let the sprigs of thyme infuse the butter and the oil. Remember, we're making pepper shrimp. It's going to be very spicy and flavorful. Once the onion is becoming translucent, you're going to just pop those shrimp in there after about a minute or so. So here we come. We could just lay our shrimp in. And remember, shrimp does not take long to cook. You don't want to overcook it. So we're going to do maybe about 2 or 3 minutes in the onion and garlic situation here, and after that we're going to add our liquid and let it infuse and cook down. The liquid has to cook down for a little bit, and remember you have some more onions and garlic and stuff that was on the shrimp of itself, so you need to have that cooked also. So you'll just have this, just make sure that there's enough liquid in there, the oil and the butter. And you just let that sit for a while in here and just cook on one side, and then we'll flip it over. Okay, I'll be back. So after about a minute or so, I did add a 2nd tablespoon of butter so that it wouldn't dry out on me. So we have like 3 tablespoons of butter going. After about a minute, just flip them over. Let's flip them all over. Beautiful. And it smells fantastic. The flavor is great. Awesome flavor. The heat is building up because you know it's pepper shrimp, so I have to get that heat going. The heat is building up. Now we're going to let this cook for another half a minute on this side. Then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of red seasoning, red food coloring. But I'm gonna add it to the water. Because I need just about a half a cup of water because I need to make a sauce kind of. So I'll add the food coloring to the water, and then we'll just add it in here. You can add as much coloring as you want, depending on the color you're looking for. But it just needs to get that nice bright red color. So here we are. We're going to let this color infuse into the shrimp and get under the shell. Get nicely under the shell. And whilst this is cooking down, it's going to thicken and get to a lovely sauce that's going to form there. Beautiful. So we're going to cover this just for like a minute or so. And if you put the rest of the jalapeno in there, just let it steam in there. We're going to cover this. You don't cook your shrimp for too long. This entire dish takes about 11 or 12 minutes. The first 5 or 6 minutes is when you're going to make that sauce. And you don't want the shrimp to be in there for more than 5 or 6 minutes also. So once you cover it down for about a minute or so, everything is going to seep in, everything is going to cook up in there, and it's going to start to reduce to make that gravy. I just usually cover it just for about a minute or so because I don't want it to get more liquid in there, and then we'll just let it evaporate and reduce to about half of what's in there and thicken a little bit. You taste it. The heat is good. Also the flavor is good. And once this has reduced to about half and thickens up a little, you'll shut it off, shut the fire off, and cover it down and just let it rest, let it soak. That's all you need to do. So I'll be back. So now you've seen the cooking process of the pepper shrimp, that everybody's favorite pepper shrimp dish, and we'll now do a taste test. So what we do, like how we eat it, here's the head, and not a lot of people like the head, but I do not eat the head, entire head, but I would just suck the juices out of there, which is really, really wonderful. Take the head off. It is pepper shrimp. And you just suck the head out. And here you have the shrimp of itself. You just have to, it's an easy peel. It's messy but delicious. Wonderful. Okay. Once again, it's awesome. It's fantastic. The pepper shrimp. This is an authentic Chris's Caribbean Delights pepper shrimp. My God. The flavors are subtle and the heat is really there. It's really pungent. But it's not overwhelming. It's fantastic. And you want that color so that you know that it's pepper shrimp. You know, okay, it's bright red. Oh, and it can scare you sometimes. But here, that's what it's all about. The flavor, the texture. Awesome. Once again, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next clip. Ooh. Awesome. Out of this world. Out of this world. And the shrimp is perfectly cooked. You don't need to go for 20 to 25 minutes. Just prep your sauce for 4 to 5 minutes. Let the onions and everything cook in. Then you place your shrimp in there and let the shrimp cook 4 to 5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes on each side, and you're done. Then you let it sit so that it absorbs all the heat and the flavor and everything. It's to die for.